くぞはっジェノサイカッタ
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today is the last day for BS Leona and BS Goenitz. And should you pull for these characters? Well, it's really going to depend on your situation as to whether or not you actually need the characters or if you even really just want them. I mean, if you have the rubies and you have one of these characters at A2 and you want to get them to A3, that way you especially could get their last 10% stone, I would advise you to go ahead and do it if you have enough rubies. If you don't have enough rubies to go to the pity to finish getting your character, then I wouldn't queue it up. As far as which of the characters you should prioritize, whether it's Leona or Goenitz, it could depend on a couple things. Maybe you need a red, so maybe you would prefer to have Goenitz. Maybe you need a purple, so maybe you would prefer Leona. But as far as the two, I mean, I think everybody knows that Leona is the stronger of the two. That is something to keep in mind. I mean, she's just better defensively. She has more damage. She's just pretty much a monster. Not to say that Goenitz isn't. He is. He's extremely overpowered like her, but he isn't on the same tier of power that she is. So that's just to give you an idea as to whether or not you should pull for these characters. And now that this banner is ending, what is next? What is going to be the next banner or the next thing that we're going to get? Well, we're going to do a little speculating here. Now, there's been some data mine information as far as this is concerned, but I'm not going to talk about that because in the past we've been kind of burned when it comes to data mine information. So I really don't want to go by that. So this is just purely speculation. I have no idea what's going to be next. I have no inclination of it at all. I have no clue. I don't know what's coming. But I want to bring up a little something for you guys, which is this right here. Now, I know it looks a little funny, guys. For some goofy reason, whenever I brought it up, it was real blurry, so I had to sharpen it up a little bit. So it looks a little pixelated, or you can see the pixels a little bit more, but you know what this is, right? Whenever you're logging in a game, you're going to see this every single time. And I want you to notice something about this picture, right? Every character on here, but two, have gotten SS versions. Every single one of them. Kale, SS. Kula, SS. Mai, SS. Kay, Iori, right? All of those characters have got SS versions of them, except for two of them. Two characters that are kind of hiding in the background, which are Terry and Rio. So you could easily speculate or easily believe that these are going to be the next two SS characters. And these guys have been data mined as far as, you know, who's going to be getting the next SS versions. But again, I just don't want to show data mine information right now because it's still pretty speculative. I really don't know if it's true or not, but you could pretty much bet that it is going to be true, at least as far as, you know, what we're looking at here, because every one of these characters has gotten SS versions, every single one of them. So it would lead you to believe that Terry and Rio are going to get SS versions. And it makes perfect sense, right, guys? All those characters on that list will be getting some love. And currently, right now, neither one of those characters are really, I mean, they're okay, but they're not really that great. I mean, you got Rio, who is, you know, he's a blue attack type. Let me see if I can find him really quick here. But his defenses are complete shite, right? This guy dies super easy, even though he's got a great leadership with the increased power charge rate by 20% with two blue fighters. It's a great leadership. He has chill damage. He's got a lot of power, a lot of damage. But the dude dies, like, in no time. Like, he dies very, very quickly. And that just, it doesn't make him a very reliable character to play. He's not the greatest in PvP either. So he's one of them characters, like, he got a fest version and he's got power, but that's all. He's just a glass cannon, right? That's the biggest problem with this character. And so we know, you know, with SS versions that more than likely they'll have some maybe immunity core like Iori or Kyo. They could have a shield like Neo Tengo. I mean, anything's possible to increase their survivability. Shields are becoming a staple for all the new SS and BS characters. Maybe they give them some kind of PvP CC potential, like maybe some kind of fear, although I think fear is going to belong mainly to BS characters. As of right now, we don't have any SS characters that offer fear, and fear is very powerful in PvP because there is no counter to it. We have no current counter at all. And by the way, that's something else they could give someone like Rio. No fear. A no fear in his core, right? Where he's immune to fear. That'd make him a lot better for PvP with this SS version. And, you know, I mean, his 3PG is just so short, right? He just does a little boom. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, look at this, how short this thing is. This is crazy, right? He steps back. He does a little explosion with his hands, a little blast explosion, and then it's done. And, you know, and for a character that has such weak survivability, it sure would have been nice to at least have a nice long 3PG animation to give him a nice long iframe to increase his survivability. That would have been very, very helpful, especially for a character like this. And then you got Terry, who Terry's a decent character, but he just honestly, people don't really use him for much of anything, right? I mean, he's a yellow balance, which is fine. He's got a nice little leadership for yellow fighters. Really, the thing about Terry that's pretty unique amongst other characters is he does have an increased all team member attack by 20%, movement speed by 20%, when power is 1% more, which is pretty nice. He's a really great support, but let's be honest, we want Terry to be more than just a support, right? It's a unique passive, but it really isn't good enough, right? And then he can do the thing where he guards, he gets super armor, which is pretty cool. That's really, really nice that he can actually do that. And he can decrease damage received, becomes immune to freeze and petrify. I mean, at one point, Terry was really, really good against those characters with freeze and petrify. But anymore, I mean, even after his buffs, he just never really seemed to get that shine. And really, his 3PG is actually pretty short as well. It's not really that long. I mean, it's kind of a similar complaint that I have with Rio, right? He's just got a short 3PG animation. I mean, you got Buster Wolf, which is cool, but yeah, it's over before you know it. And the thing about it is it's just a one-directional 3PG. It'd be nice if we had a nice AoE with it, with a lot of the typical 3PGs that we're seeing from the BS and SS characters. So that's something to look forward to. You know, better 3PG animations, longer 3PG animations, you know, better kits, obviously. I mean, maybe reset skills, certain dots would be really, really nice. I mean, you know, obviously we'd like to see shock on these characters because in Lunatic Guild Raid, you know, we need shock or poison for expert mode against Nightmare Geese, or even Starlight, right, against Lunatic on Omega Rugal. I mean, those kinds of things. Dots are very, very good. They make characters a whole lot stronger. So that'll be something else to look forward to. But again, this is all speculatory. We have no idea. I have no idea if we're going to get SS versions of these characters, but I feel pretty confident that it's going to happen. I feel very, very confident that we will be getting SS versions of them. And honestly, I'll be pretty happy when we do, because like I said earlier, Terry and Rio just, they really don't get much love. People don't really get to play them. And honestly, you know, they're huge parts of the franchise, especially Terry. I mean, I know there's a lot of Rio lovers, and I love Rio too, but let's be honest, man. Terry's he goes way back to the Fatal Fury days, and so he holds a lot of stock for a lot of old players that are into KOF big time. I mean, Rio's been there for a long time too, but I'm sure we'll see, you know, hyper armor on these characters. Again, some kind of dot, maybe reset skills, some decreased damage received or shields. Any of those things would be really, really awesome for the new versions of these characters, if we do get SS versions of these characters. So let me know how y'all feeling about the possibilities of getting SS Terry and SS Rio. And let me know if you went ahead and decided to pull for the Volume 4 Boss Syndrome characters, if you're able to get them. And by the way, guys, if you're close to getting their 3PGs for either Leona or Goenitz, and you have enough rubies to go ahead and get that 3PG, I would go ahead and do it, even if you don't have the character, because at least then you can make the original versions of Leona and Goenitz a whole lot better, because they'd have much better 3PG animations. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link is in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, y'all. Take care and have a good one. See ya.